At this AMA party in 1984, also there, a young Emmanuel Lewis.
We always had a good time, you know, laughed, tell jokes. No one's really seen that side of him.
They have stayed close for years, and Lewis was quick to defend his friend last year after the airing of Martin Bashir's searing documentary.
None of that, any of that makes any of it the truth. I don't get it, and I don't think I ever will. He's always been a friend, not just of me, but my whole entire family. You know, if there's nothing wrong, why do you need to change? Because you think of me differently. Regardless of how old we were in real life, we're not going to get older. That's just our frame of mind. We were Peter Pan. Come on.
The 3-foot star was invited down to the set of Jackson's new video, Thriller, and met Michael while he was having his makeup done.
And he's like, "Are you afraid of me?" You know? Of course not. You're Michael Jackson.
They would do all the Thriller moves together and all. It's so cute, so adorable. Do all those little things together, and no, there were no questions about it because it was a wonderful friendship.
I didn't know the magnitude of how great this month was going to be in history. You know, you just didn't know. I mean, all we did was watch, you know, comedy or cartoons. Could anything negative happen between the two of us? The answer to that question, your question, is hell no.
Sometimes grown-ups touch kids in ways they don't like.
I was wrestling with my uncle, and it changed. It felt icky.
When touching feels funny, it's hard to know what to do.
He said I shouldn't tell anyone.
If that ever happens to you, say no.
No.
Then go.
Go.
And tell someone you trust.
Tell.
Say no. Then go. And tell.
This message is brought to you as a public service by the Doctors of Canada.
That is amazing. We did a Webster episode. It was called The Uh-Oh Feeling, and it was all about that. One of our producers was molested as a child, and she wrote this this whole script. So that was a very emotional show that we did, and we thought it was very important.
Justin Bieber's mom, Patty, was in this chair. Our interview's going to be coming up shortly. Let me play this. We played that PSA for her.
That public service announcement changed my whole life, and I don't even know if he knew that it had impact on anybody, but after I saw that, that's what gave me the courage to say no to my abusers.
That's Patty Millett, Justin Bieber's mom, after seeing your PSA.
Woo!
How about this, though?
I love them.
Let me play this clip.
Wow. that was home footage. That was actually in my house, in my condo. My brother would always take video clips of stuff. And Mike was, you know, he loved, you know, watching us do our different dance segment. We had 2 or 3 different dances that we'd always do, you know, at the house, chilling out.
I just saw Spike Lee's movie Bad 25, the celebration of that album, Bad, and you remember what an amazing performer Michael Jackson was. You were his friend, you were with him a lot, and you know all the controversy that followed him. What was it like watching your friend go through that?
You know, it was, you know, it was horrible, you know what I mean? Because, you know this guy is great. You know he's got a heart of gold. And, you know that he wouldn't do any of those things that people were talking about. Later on, of course, after he died, a few of those people came forward and said, you know, it never happened. We didn't do anything. We was pressured by parents, by this or that, and we needed money real bad, and they figured that was the way to get at him. And there was people out in the press that actually came clean. But it's a little late, you know what I mean? Thanks a lot, you know what I mean? You put them through hell and, you know, and
even in that Martin Bashir documentary, he was pressuring you to try to divulge if anything had happened to you.
Yeah, they're always trying to, you know, put words in my mouth for trying, you know, make crazy stuff happen. You know, we just had the best times. You know, he's always been nothing but a great friend, not just to me, to my whole family. And so we gave Michael some of these clips, and he was borrowing them, but they never made it back to the house. So it's funny to see. And when I saw it came out, and I saw that they were edited perfectly, that's Michael. He's such a perfectionist.
He certainly is, right?
Yeah.
He loves children sincerely. No sexual anything toward children at all.
Well, when I first met Michael Jackson, I was working at the Hemsley Palace Hotel. I used to manage all the suites in the apartments, and that's where he normally stayed. Michael asked me if I was married, if I had any kids, and that one day he would love to meet them.
He was wonderful, and we treated him as he was part of our family, and that he was not the king of pop, but just a human being.
He always called us the family of love, my second family.
We grew up with him literally since he was 3 and I was 5, and so being around him was just normal.
He really just was so humble, and then never really played off on the fact that he was, you know, this Michael Jackson. You know, he was just Michael. He was just our friend.
I used to cook all his favorite food. I knew exactly what he loved, and I would make it for him. I even would make him homemade pizza, and you know, he loved it, and turkey dinners.
Mashed potatoes, stuffing.
Thanksgiving dinner every day.
Yeah.
And he did love his sweets.
Well, the candy counter. Yes. He kind of introduced us to, you know, at Neverland, he always had the candy counter. One of the first times he came here, he was like, where's your candy counter? And he made us go out and get...
Everyone had a candy counter.
Yeah, and my father went out and got boxes and boxes of all different types of candy that Michael loved, and we actually placed it, you know, over there, and then he was like, okay, we got the candy counter, we're good.
Just like hanging out.
Yeah,
everywhere, yeah.
We'd hang out just like this, just, you know, just standing around the counter and talking, and, you know, when there was...
He took my garbage out one night.
Yeah, I mean...
He loved doing things like that.
Yeah, he loved doing things like that.
Helped her vacuum, clean up the house.
He loved cleaning
he tried to clean up the house, his way of cleaning.
Yeah, it was funny, because he would just come up and enjoy family dinners and just be part of the family. He would always make sure that before every meal that we say our prayers and say grace, and you know, and even afterwards we'd have sit downs and we'd all go through and you know, just talk about what we're thankful for, and you know, those type of memories that we all have are just, they're really priceless, you know, because that was Michael. I had been studying piano since the age of 4, and my brother as well, and as we grew up we would play for Michael, and we both learned pretty much all of Michael's songs.
So I have to ask you, Frank, Marie, Nicole, were there ever any improprieties with you and Michael Jackson?
Never. Michael couldn't harm a fly. I mean, he's such a kind and gentle soul.
So when you heard those charges and heard those charges then again, and he went on trial for those charges, what did you think?
You know, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Terrible.
You know, Michael was a target, and unfortunately, he was targeted.
So at no time did you ever feel during all of those charges against him that your children were not safe with him?
Never.
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 Mm-hmm.
Never a doubt.